All right, hello to whoever just joined. Tonight we're going to be going over preparing your final video presentation. And I know it's big. You've worked hard on this project, so gotta end with something good. And obviously today, just a disclaimer, this is not like criteria that you have followed. These are just suggestions to help you win. So obviously you don't need to strictly follow these. These are purely suggestions. So take that as you want. Well, so let's go over today's agenda. We're going to be going over different types of formats you can use. We're going to be going over the key components. Then we're going to do the demo section, give you more details, and then we have examples and Q&A. So let's start off with possible video formats. The biggest three video formats that you can use are one, voice over presentation. So make a PowerPoint, record your voice over it, all of that. Second type is documentary style. So kind of like a presentation, but you add in like stock footage, stuff like that. And then there's the third one, which is basically like an entertainment video. And this one is basically like one of those best example I can give you is like one of those Mark Rober videos, if you know. But it's just like a more playful style. So these are the three styles. Um, First one obviously is the easiest one to do. If you're not a professional video editor, or if you're short on time, we highly suggest doing one. It's always the safest bet. Second one is also another safe option, but it's just slightly harder to do, and you will need video editing experience. And third one is the risky one. Either it turns out like not as expected, or it turns out very good. So um, third one is yeah, it's the risky option. And yeah, none of these have advantages over each other. It's just how which one you feel like doing. Now let's go over the key components. Oh, hello. Um,
Hello. Yes, I am late. Apparently, I thought it
uh,
started at 7. Oh, wait.
no, it's all right. We have a recording
Never
for
mind.
anybody new who just joined, so don't worry. We are also going to be posting the slides right after I go over these things. So let's go over the key components. So the first part of your video should be basically a brief introduction to your project. Give the judges an idea of what you will be talking about. So like a one sentence description, you might also add like your slogan. And as a visual, you should also include all of your logos, banners, whatever represents your project best. So that's the introduction should be kept very short. Like I would say maximum 20 seconds. Doesn't need to be too fancy. The second part, which is the one of the important parts, is explaining what the project accomplishes. Now, listed on the screen are only like two types of things it might accomplish. Obviously, there can be more. The most obvious one is, does it solve a problem? Like if your project attempts to solve a problem, you can say that like our project is here to solve da 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 problem because the basically you can explain it so that it's like a solution. The second one is, does it provide entertainment? And this is for the people who have developed games. You can say that your project accomplishes to provide entertainment, like it uses the game to teach something. I don't know, it could be anything. Obviously, there are much more other things it can accomplish, such as it taught you something new, you wanted experience. Anything could work. It's just, but the third point is the most important one, and this is your project demo. Now, this should take up this should be the longest section of your video. It should also probably be the majority of your video. Um, Now this is we don't have too strict of what we're looking for. It's just anything that you feel best can demo your project and get as much information out as fast as possible. Now, personally, we recommend you, like if you built something physical, include photos, videos, schematics, like I don't know, montages, anything that shows off the physical product. Now, if you built software, if you did like physical and software or just purely software, but if there is a software section, include screenshots, videos, code, like a demonstration, basically anything. And obviously, you can include other stuff that were not listed on here. These are only suggestions. And the last part of your video should be the ending. Um, Now, I would say this is actually quite an important part of because it's going to be what makes the impression on the judge. So first of all, you have to address, these are optional things that you can address. Maybe you can address, like, is this the end of your project? As in, are you planning to work on it after? Do you plan to bring it to like some, I don't know, like build it further? What you learned from this project, challenges, successes, obstacles, and overall, what did you accomplish? Now, these are like the 3 points, but obviously, you also want to add stuff like a recap of your project and end off with like a striking sentence that captures like the attention of the judge. So your like project is memorable. That's the most important part of the end. Um, Now let's go over what the project demo. Now I gave you a brief summary of what it should include, but this is the 4 main sections that we are judging you on. These are not listed in any order. There is obviously we are going to be marking some things more importantly than others, but it's not in this order. But the first thing we will be judging you on is your creativity. So is this a project that you came up with? Is it something that has already been built on Google? Is this something other participants have built? Is this something like a super generic project that you could find everywhere? Stuff like that. That's what we're looking at creativity. And for creativity, we also do kind of look at your banner logo, um, but those are irrelevant compared to like your overall project idea. Secondly, we look at your practicality. So this is how realistic is your project if you were to implement it. Now, this mostly applies to people who have built projects that act as a solution to a problem. If you built a game, this is more or less doesn't apply to you. In that case, we are going to be looking at more at creativity, design, and theme. But for those people who did build like the solution type of project, practicality is a big one. And this basically means those are if the like what problem do you attempt to solve? Is it like a small problem? Is it the big problem? And is your plan realistic? Like one thing that you could like basically does your project attempt to land unicorns on the moon? You see the like how this is absurd, and that's what like we're trying to avoid. Like make phrase like what you say in a way that makes it sound realistic. Don't phrase it in a way that makes it sound like you are like a lunatic. Third part, which is another important part, I guess, is your design. Now, design doesn't mean like doing good Photoshop and like stuff like that. Design basically encapsulates everything from like usability, like logo design to like consistency, everything that's like basically everything on the front end is goes onto design. So does the project have a cohesive theme? Like if you build a terminal app, but you need to log on to like a web page to do stuff, then obviously that kind of conflicts. Like, why not just keep everything in the terminal? And if you're building like a simplistic app, don't even like bother adding fancy images, fancy animations. If it's supposed to be simple, keep it simple. If it's supposed to be complex, add those animations. Just keep the theme consistent. If your project has like is like on a blue theme, try to use blue shaded colors and like make your logo blue. Don't like jump all over with like 7 different colors. Unless if that's like part of the theme. And then is the project easy to understand or use? This basically applies to people who are building like things that have a GUI. Uh, I would personally say if you're making a website, the front page should never have more than one button when you first go onto it. And then you can slowly add more. But keep it simple, keep it short, keep the design easy to understand and easy to use. And if you're building like a terminal app, a Discord bot, just like in, include like like a help command or like something to guide the user through. And third part is, does your logo slash banner fit the developed software? Now we will be looking at like your presentation, and which is a big part of your thing. So naturally, this includes your like marketing. So if you built a app to like help the environment by planting trees, obviously you don't want a logo that like shows a like flower or shows a like, rock, because that's just not what your project is about. Like you should be able to look at your logo and have a like brief understanding of what like the general direction of your project. And lastly, we have a theme. This is one of the smaller points we're going to be judging you on, but it's basically on a scale of 1 to 10. how much does your thing relate to like the theme of improving student lives? Obviously, your thing doesn't actually need to improve student lives. It just has to relate to the theme. Like if you built a game which revolves around the protagonist who improves their lives, that still fits the theme. Like theme ultimately is very vague, and it's up to you to explain how you interpreted it. And if you followed how you interpreted it, then we will give you a good like score on this section. And again, this applies to all sections. Your thing doesn't actually have to be creative or practical. You just have to explain it well, and that's the most important part. And this brings up another point, which is to spend less time writing up an essay to read and spend more time like getting footage of someone actually using your software, because show the judges, don't tell the judges. One of the big points. And these are the mandatory video details. So you have to keep your video under 3 minutes. If you do go over 3 minutes, we will penalize you on that. So try not to like go over. I'm sure you guys can all do it. 3 minutes is very long. And yeah, try not to recite an entire essay in your video. Trust me, the judges will get very bored. We will get very bored, and we're just going to like fall asleep before we get to like the spicy part of your actual demo. Please don't include that many words. And you have to ensure that your video is uploaded to Google Drive or YouTube, and make sure that it is public. So if you're on YouTube, you could put it as unlisted or public. If you're on Google Drive, you have to share it and make sure we have permissions to view. This is a common problem I find with a lot of people. And if we don't, we will obviously ask you to, but if you don't respond in time, we're just not going to look at your project entirely. So make sure it's public. And that brings us to the next part, where we have two example videos. One of them was built by Joe and I, like I think last year, about the same time. And another one is built by another organizer, Donald, who you might have. But yeah, so we will watch these two videos together, and I will just generally point out a few things that you should take note of, and things that like we did bad at when we were participating in the hackathon. Oh, hello. Yep, we're kind of at the end of the presentation, so we do have a recorded video that will be up soon. You should definitely watch that, and we are sending the slides soon. So yeah, let's watch the first video. This was the project that Joe and I built. So
it's really easy to let out a few curse words online, especially when you think you're anonymous.
actually, guys, can you hear? Or if
Yeah, we
I could
can
always. Okay, yeah. I will also just in case I will also send the link inside the chat. So this is.
Studies show that people as young as 10 begin swearing, and the number of people continue to increase with the rise of social media. That's why we developed Ikanai, an intelligent Discord bot designed to detect and remove inappropriate content. This isn't your normal anti-swear bot though. Our distinguishing feature is our voice chat anti-swear. Basically, we can detect and moderate swears in the voice chat. To do this, we use a variation of the Aho-Korasic multiple string matching algorithm. We do the same for text messages, but sanitize the text beforehand to catch common bypasses.
For example, if I try to send a bad word, the bot will automatically remove it. On the other side, the admins will be able to view whatever I just sent. Be it one curse, two curses, or an entire string of curses, the bot will still remove them. We have also included detection for many common bypasses, including spaces between words, lookalike characters, Zoggle, etc.
For voice chat, it is able to detect swears with a near-perfect accuracy thanks to Google's text-to-speech API. If, for example, my friend were gaming and accidentally cussed, the bot would detect it and instantly inform the user. Even with heavy background noises, it is still able to detect those bad words and eliminate them.
To reward the user for staying clean, we award the user rep for chatting normally, but deduct them upon detecting swear words. Due to people's sense of competition, they are far more likely to refrain from swearing, competing for the first place on their server leaderboard instead.
Our rank card is a simple, customizable rank card that informs a user of their reputation, level, and rank. Our leaderboard features an easy-to-read list of all users ranked by their reputation. Not only do these features serve an aesthetical purpose, but it also incentivizes the user to reach next level and beat the rest of the competition by refraining from swearing.
Ultimately, we just wanted a fresh take on a Discord profanity bot, and I think we did that. In the future, we'd like to create a dashboard to make it even more easy to configure, in addition to allowing users to provide custom phrases to blacklist or whitelist. Thanks.
All right, so that's the first video done. Now, one thing you may have noticed was that we were speaking very fast. Please don't do this in ours. The other one had a video limit of 2 minutes. You have a video limit of 3 minutes, so make that count. Don't like at the end speed up your footage by like 200 times. It sounds really scuffed. And yeah, another thing you might have noticed is that we spent a majority of time like showing actual recording of our like product, and we only spent about like 30 seconds on like generic background stock footage. So that's something you should look out for. Just like speak over a demo of your bot and briefly explain what it's doing. So next we will look at the next video.
Hi there. Finding the perfect gift can be time consuming. The average person dedicates around 15 hours searching for the perfect gift, which is why we developed GiftDex, a web app that uses machine learning to help find a gift for your friends and family.
Say you're meeting your girlfriend's parents for the first time, and you want to make a good impression, but all you know about them is that they like cooking. With GiftDex, you can find the perfect gift within minutes. Let's say the father was 48 years old, and the budget was $50, and they like cooking.
GiftX helps you save time finding gifts by automatically finding the perfect gifts based on the receiver's age, gender, interests, and your budget.
Using machine learning to determine possible categories of interests that they may like, we automatically find possible gifts within those categories.
If you don't like the recommended products, you can always re-roll until you find a desired product.
Once you see an item that you like, you can click on the link that brings you to the purchase page.
Whether you're finding a gift for a friend, family member, or someone you're just meeting for the first time, we often struggle with finding the perfect gift. GiftX uses AI to find the perfect gifts for you so you don't have to.
All right, and that was the end of the second video. Now, one thing you may have noticed is that these spoke significantly slower than ours, which is a good thing and a bad thing as well. As you might have saw that there were a few like pauses in between in the middle of the video, and generally we suggest that you could probably cut out that and spend the time explaining something else. So like if you have like a pause longer than 4 seconds, I guess, we should probably remove it and use the time on something more valuable. But yeah,
It's really
and now on to our Q&A section, because I know a lot of you definitely have questions on this submission or just anything in general. But yeah, are there any questions? If there are, you could speak out in the voice chat or just put it inside the channel A chat. So I will be staying here.
So the second video would be more like an advertisement style video, and
Oh,
as well.
what do you mean by advertisement style?
Like it was like they were trying to promote their product.
Oh, the second example, right?
Yeah, the second example.
Oh, yeah, more or less. I mean, we don't have like a way you definitely have to follow. You could certainly do an advertisement style, or you could do like a demo. But it's ultimately up to you on which one you feel like works for your project best. Because like in this context, advertising a Discord bot that removes swears isn't like necessarily the most like the first thing you think of. So yeah, just make it fit your project, and you're good to go.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks.
Are there any other questions?
Is the video limit 5 minute or 3 minute? Because it says 5 minute in the website.
Oh, does it say 5 minutes on the website?
Right. Yeah, the dev post.
Okay, I'm going to fix that. It's limited to 3 minutes.
Right. Thank you.
Can you send us the slide?
Send you the slides. Oh yeah, let me do that before I forget.
Yeah, because there was a lot of people that didn't show up.
Yeah, all right. I will send the thing in resources.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are there any other questions? Yeah, to the people who missed any part of the workshop, highly recommend read over the Google Slides right now. As well, the video will be up in a few minutes, probably an hour or so. Actually, not a few minutes.
60 is a few.
Yeah.
I guess soon enough, therefore.
Yeah. Are there anybody else with questions?
Does it
Well,
have to be a public video, or can I upload as unlisted?
Unlisted works. Actually,
because I'm planning
not
on making
sure.
a follow-up video that's like a lot more immersive, and it wouldn't make sense to upload two.
Yeah, I think unlisted might work. You could alternatively just use Google Drive, because I'm not sure if unlisted videos work with dev post, like the dev post thing. So
Well, it
you'll
works
have to.
with it works with Discord embeds, right? So it should work.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not too familiar with unlisted videos, so
I think it should still, like previews of it should still show when you send a link. The only difference is that it's not shown in your channel. Otherwise, everything else is.
Okay, yeah. Actually, yeah,
Safe,
that
I'll
makes
just upload
sense.
it to
Drive also works. Or
okay.
What is the project logo? Because you said that it's related to the. Is the project logo like the logo we have for our team, or can we make a new one? I mean, it kind of is like anything, I guess. Like personally, my way of explaining what a good project logo should be like is, if you were to make a Discord server about your project, then your logo should basically be the icon for that server. So that's something like that's usually a good starting point of what you can imagine your logo as. But obviously, it could represent your team. But we recommend that it like at least follows the theme of what your project is. Hopefully, that answers your. Because Vancouver Shankers has nothing to do. Obviously you can include like for your team logo, you could put that in. We're not going to judge you on what your team logo is, but like, if you do have a team logo, you do need two of them, like a team one and a project one. For everybody else who didn't catch that, team one is optional. Project one is mandatory. And project one has to relate to your project team. You could upload whatever you want. I would say so, yeah. Like to give it a cohesive theme. Like honestly, I feel like logos should be mandatory. Like what's the point of a good project without a like a strong thing to captivate people's like attention? No. Well, like if you want to actually be considered seriously for a prize, it's basically mandatory. Yeah, are there any other questions? I can see a lot of people editing Visual Studio Code.
So
Well,
8 p.m. Tuesday, right?
Yeah, we recommend submitting like slightly earlier so it will appear in the project gallery sooner, which puts you at the front, and that's usually where people look when voting for audience.
Where do we submit again?
Where do you submit? That's a very good question. It's on the dev post, so I will On the day of submission, which is tomorrow, I will make a announcement about exactly how to submit. But in the chat right now is the dev post. All you need to do is sign in and press the create project, and then you
Wait,
should be able to. Oh,
sorry,
it's
doesn't that mean that like the earlier you like upload it, then it's more biased towards you? Because people see it more often for the audience?
yeah, which is exactly why we encourage you to upload it early.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of the design, because we don't want a ton of people procrastinating.
Right.
And if too many people procrastinate, obviously we will have to like violate the. Actually, I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to give you guys any ideas. The which questions? Oh, yeah. For everybody here, when you do submit on DevPost, there's a section which basically asks you a ton of questions. We recommend that you do fill out those questions because they give like more information about your like project is obviously more always better. But if you don't feel like doing them, you can skip them for sure.
And where can I find the project gallery?
The project gallery is also on the dev post, which is posted in channel A. Right now, it's not open yet, but I will open it tonight at 8 p.m. So 24 hours before submissions close.
Do we need to bundle any dependencies with it?
Oh,
Like Python libraries
no, you don't. Well, we're judging everything based on the video, but if you feel like submitting code, well, I think you are mandatory to submit code, but you just to check for viruses and make sure nothing bad is going on. But
Wait,
no, you don't need to submit dependencies. Maybe if you are using them, you should definitely mention them because that's like it's like ethically required.
so you guys won't be like testing or running our code?
Uh, we might if we find it interesting. I mean, but
Okay.
judging wise, everything will be happening on the what is it video. And obviously, if you do submit code and we do run it, I don't want to say we will get biased, but it's just some I don't know. I'm not going to go any. I'm not actually going to disclose any of that.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, I will stay after the recording ends. I will still stay here for quite a while. But yeah.
For the Minecraft activity, right?
Yeah, we might be delaying that to tomorrow because I know a ton of people are procrastinating on their projects. So yeah, that's if it doesn't happen today, it will happen tomorrow.
I'll be available for Hypixel the whole entire evening.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody does want to like stay for like other type of games, yeah, but we won't be formally running anything tonight because people obviously we encourage people to work on their projects.
Does anybody though want to play in Hypixel for those who are staying?
Well, I mean, I'll probably get on soon. I have to, yeah.